going on, comic friends? It's Ryan the Colossus Collector, and thank you for stopping by my channel once again. So today's video is all about a tag challenge that Comic Collector Geek, Alan over at Comic Collector Geek, put out to a few different comic content creators, and that was to show your top 10 Bronze Age books in your collection. Whichever ones are kind of the biggest keys, but some content creators are putting a little spin on it. Maybe it's just their favorite Bronze Age books. But the challenge is to show your top 10 bronze keys. And Mr. Akins over at What's on the Comic Rack has passed the challenge over to me. I thank you, Mr. Akins, once again for the tag. I love getting tagged in these challenges. Love to participate in these fun videos and put out more content for the community. So, without further ado, let's get into my top 10 bronze keys. So, one of the hashtags that Alan at Comic Collector Geek asked to include in our videos was hashtag 70s covers. Now, of course, the Bronze Age ran from 1970 to 1985, but because of that hashtag, I took it very seriously that it had to be 70s books. So when I was going through my collection, I was looking for just ones that came out in the 70s. There were a couple 80s Bronze Age books that I could have included, but I didn't for the sake of this hashtag. And but I also realized, I'm a little bit short on Bronze Age keys. I mean, enough to do this challenge for sure, and enough books to do this challenge. But there's still some big Bronze Age keys that I haven't been focusing on getting over the last, 6 months this year. I've been very, very honed in on Silver Age books, which I love, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there are some Bronze Age bangers out there that I need to start keeping an eye out for. So that's definitely something I'm going to think about in the future. But let's get to number 10. My number 10 Bronze Age book is Amazing Adventures number 11. And this is the first appearance of Beast, Hank McCoy, in his fur form, his beast form. I love this cover. I love the gray fur. I love blue fur, but this is a pretty cool first appearance of Hank McCoy, the Beast, in gray fur. That's my number 10 Bronze Age key. All right, next one up is Man-Thing number 1 from 1974, and this is the second appearance of Howard the Duck, and it is Man-Thing's first self-titled series. So this book is a big Man-Thing key, and I absolutely, and I've showed it on my channel before, and I apologize if you've seen a lot of the books I'm going to show today on this video, but these are my top 10 keys. Number 9, the Man-Thing number 1, and I've always just loved this cover. This cover is just gorgeous. The colors pop, and it's really, really an incredible piece of art. I have it in a 6.5. I'd like to get an upgrade for sure. But until that time, I'm very happy to display this 6.5 on my wall, and really love this Man-Thing one. Okay, so at number 8, I've got Strange Tales number 178, and this is the first appearance of Magus or Magus. I've never really heard the proper pronunciation of it, but that is, of course, Adam Warlock's evil alter ego. A really great black cover cosmic book from the Bronze Age, released in 1975, and a pretty significant Bronze Age key for Adam Warlock. A lot of his big books are in the Silver Age, but definitely a few good keys in the Bronze, and this is my number 8 book. Absolutely love this cover, and really happy to have it in a 9.0. Okay, so at number 7, another cosmic Bronze Age book. I've got Nova number 1 from 1976, and this is the origin and first appearance of Richard Rider, aka Nova. Another awesome black cosmic cover from the Bronze Age from the 70s. Beautiful art, colorful, really pops. Really nice to have this in a pretty high grade. Would love to get an upgrade into the 9s one day, but really happy with this for the time being. A really cool cover, a really great character, great cosmic character, and yeah, just really enjoy looking at this cover, and this is my number 7 Bronze Age key. All right, so the next one, number 6 on my Bronze Age keys, is Marvel Spotlight number 28, and this is the first solo Moon Knight story and first solo Moon Knight title. Just really love this book. When I got it graded, if you've seen my grading video for this book, I was so stoked to get it into 9.2. I bought this kind of at the height of Moon Knight spec. Last year when the Moon Knight show was on Disney Plus, and I, looking back on it before grading it, I felt like, I probably paid too much for it for what I thought maybe the grade was. This came back way higher, and it ended up being just an incredible buy for me, and worth a lot more than what I paid for it. So really great book. Basically, other than Moon Knight's first appearance, this is the next best Moon Knight key to have. And yeah, just a great book, great Bronze Age key, and that's my number 6 Bronze Age key. Okay, so at number 5, a really big X-Men key, of course, X-Men 101, the origin and first appearance of the Phoenix. And everybody, loves and appreciates this beautiful Dave Cockrum cover of Jean Grey, the Phoenix, rising from the water after the X-Men had crashed. And, to see Cyclops and Storm and Nightcrawler in the water like that, it's just such an epic cover, such an epic reveal, also in story of the Phoenix. And yeah, it's definitely one of the biggest X-Men keys of the Claremont era. A must-have for any Bronze Age collection, but especially for any X-Men enthusiast. X-Men 101 is an iconic book from Dave Cockrum and Chris Claremont, and I absolutely love having this. And yeah, that's my number 5 Bronze Age key. All right, so at number 4, we're right in the thick of my X-Men books. This is X-Men 109, first appearance of Weapon Alpha, also known as Vindicator and as Guardian, the leader of Alpha Flight. Great story and by Chris Claremont. Great, beautiful cover from Mr. Aiken's favorite, John Byrne. One of my favorites too. I mean, he's such an iconic artist and did so many amazing covers on X-Men especially, and it's a great story of how he comes to track down Wolverine for abandoning the Canadian government and for abandoning the Alpha Flight team. As a Canadian and an X-Men fan, this is a must-have book. Would like to get it a little bit higher grade sooner or later, but love seeing it on my wall every day. And just a real personal favorite of mine. X-Men 109 is my number 4 Bronze Age key. All right, keeping the ball rolling with the Canadian theme and the X-Men theme. At number 3, my of my Bronze Age keys in my collection is XMen 120, and this is the first appearance of Alpha Flight in cameo. But of course, as most of you know, this is definitely the bigger book in terms of Alpha Flight appearances. 121 is the full appearance, but this is definitely real. In actuality, I think a full appearance. You see all the characters. Actually, Mr. Akins had this one on his top 10 Bronze Age books, Bronze Age keys, and explained that really well. So check out his video that just came out. But had to include this one as well in my list. It is one of my favorite X-Men books. It's also very close and near and dear to my heart as a Canadian, as an Alpha Flight fan as well. And just another beautiful cover by John Byrne. And to have it in a 9.6 is also just an incredible thing too. So really love this book, and it's my number 3 Bronze Age key. Okay, so number 2. I actually have 2 copies of this. This is Marvel Premiere number 1, the first appearance of him as Adam Warlock. So the first appearance of Adam Warlock as Adam Warlock. I have it in a 5.0. I have an even nicer copy in the raw. And of course, this slab is part of my 1K sub giveaway. So shameless plug. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and get in those comments and interact with me and the channel's community for a chance to win an incredible prize pack once I get to 1K subscriptions on my channel. But the goal is obviously to give away the slab and then to go and send this beauty in for grading. But this is my number 2 Bronze Age key, Marvel Premiere number 1. I've always loved this cover. It's just the image framed in black. Warlock looks so cool. You know, I have Hulk and Thor in the background there too. I really, really have always loved this book, and you know, to get it and then to get it in an even higher grade and condition shortly thereafter was pretty exciting. And it's really kind of one of the big 3 Warlock keys. And it's obviously the biggest Warlock key in the Bronze Age. So this is my number 2 Bronze Age key, and really excited to get this raw one graded and slabbed. And now for my number 1 Bronze Age key, and Mr. Akins kind of spoiled it, but I've also shown it off quite a bit lately, and I'm sure if you're a regular on my channel, you have no doubt of what book this number 1 Bronze Age key is. That's my giant size X-Men number 1 in a 5.5, released in 1975, and this is the first appearance of Colossus, the first appearance of Nightcrawler, the first appearance of Storm, the third full appearance of Wolverine, and also the first appearance of Thunderbird. The start of just an absolutely epic run of X-Men, a new team, all new, all different X-Men team. Of course, Chris Claremont didn't write this book, but it led into his epic run, his multiple decade run on X-Men. And yeah, it's my favorite book. It's my grail of grails. And there's no doubt that this is my number 1 Bronze Age key. So that's my top 10 Bronze Age keys. Like I said earlier, I think I really need to start digging for some more banger Bronze Age keys. I have been really focused on silver, which I truly love. But yeah, I now I gotta hankering for some of those other Bronze Age keys out there, so I'm gonna start keeping an eye out for that. But just want to thank Mr. Akins over at What's on the Comic Rack once again for the tag. I love doing these videos, so really appreciate that. And now I'll have to tag 3 more channels, 3 more content creators to get in on this top 10 Bronze Age key challenge. So first I'm going to tag Ryan over at Collecting Casually. Ryan and I recently, subscribed to each other and have found each other's channels, and really love his channel and his videos. So would love to see him jump in on this challenge. I'm going to challenge Laurence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles because I don't think anybody else has challenged him yet, and we all know his channel and the books he collects. He's going to have some absolute fire to show us from the Bronze Age. And finally, I'm going to tag a newer channel. I'm going to tag Near Mint Nando, a very young channel, just started, but I found him recently. And these tags are always a great opportunity to give somebody some love and promote a young starting channel. And he's got wicked books, I'm telling you. So Near Mint Nando, would love you to show us your top 10 Bronze Age keys. So that's it for this video, but before I go, I'd like you to please check out my 1K sub video. It's a huge prize. Check out that video, and why don't you go and check out this video over here too? I think you'll enjoy it. So until the next video, keep collecting.